So now I'm looking at question 3 of the CFA for Black Cowboy Wild Horses, and I have a passage to read, and then I'm going to answer the questions. Crispin stood patiently holding the reins of the knight's horse. The tournament banner snapped in the breeze, and a flurry of dust blew across the jousting area. "I'm going to be a knight someday," he said to his friend Grianne, "and I'll have a really cool horse like this one." Grianne snorted. "Fat chance. You're an orphan peasant. Orphan peasants don't become knights. Only nobles can train to become knights." "That's right," said the knight's squire as he came and took the reins from Crispin. Little did Grianne and the squire realize how wrong they would turn out to be. And then my question, which sentence best explains Crispin's conflict? Well, before I even look at the answer choices, let's think about what the conflict is. Crispin is not a knight, but he wants to be a knight. However, his friend doesn't think he will be a knight. Neither does the squire. So he is in some conflict with other people telling him he won't be a knight. But then here, Grianne says, "You're an orphan peasant. Orphan peasants don't become knights. Only nobles can train to become knights." So Crispin's circumstances, the fact that he doesn't have a family and that he's very poor, also could be a conflict in preventing him from becoming a knight. He's not going to have the financial support or the ability to train to become a knight. They say nobles, and I know nobles are people like lords and ladies and dukes and duchesses, usually, and they would have the money and the resources to do this. Crispin is going to have to get a job. He's not going to have time for this. Right, so looking here, which sentence best explains Crispin's conflict? It is internal. He dreams of becoming a knight. Well, that's true. But he is afraid that he will fail. I don't know. I didn't see anything about Crispin being afraid up here. It is external. He wants to become a knight, but he is not allowed to do so. Okay, so he does want to become a knight. These people say he's not going to be allowed to do so, so that one seems like a good option, but let's see if I have a better choice. It is external. He cannot persuade his friend Grianne to watch the tournament. I don't remember, and I'm not seeing anything about them arguing about watching the tournament. So and this doesn't really have anything to do with him wanting to become a knight. It is internal. He cannot figure out how to settle his argument with Grianne. Well, Grianne is disagreeing with him. I'm not sure if Grianne is a boy or a girl. But Grianne is telling Crispin he can't be a knight. And so they are disagreeing, but I don't see any thoughts here of Crispin thinking, I've got to figure out how to get over this argument I'm having with Grianne. I don't know it's really an argument. Grianne is just telling him this. Crispin is not really saying anything back to her in an argumentative way, at least not in this scene that we see. So I think of the choices, I know which one is going to be the best answer.